You're listening to the Believe in Giants podcast with two-time Super Bowl winner Carl Banks and the voice of the Giants, Bob Papa.
6th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for football fans. So take a flyer. It's 24-hour deals on all your favorite football season's predictions. Take a flyer on the MVP race, crown your own champion in August, or parlay your division winner dark horses. Mark your calendars. August the 26th. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, whatever you need to do. Visit the FanDuel app today. Start planning your futures bets now because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com. Visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope Gambling Helpline in Massachusetts.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts. Text HOPE NY in New York. Bob Papa with two-time Super Bowl champion Carl Banks. Carl, you know, it's getting late early, right? I was talking with Joe Shane yesterday during practice for a little bit, and we were just talking about training camp and really how quickly it goes. Today, we're taping this on a Thursday. It'll be a Friday kind of practice for game day on Saturday. Then you got the game. Then you have a padded practice next week, and then you got a game on Thursday night, and it's down to the first 53. So a lot of intense moments right now for players within the facility of the Giants and all 32. I want to get your take on what you saw in the joint practices between the two teams.
Well, I think when you look at both teams' strengths, I thought they both played to their strength. And when I talk about that, the Giants' defensive front. Now, everybody is raving over, the pass rush drills. And they were a sight to see. The Giants were really dominant there. And it was the usual suspects. But the thing that impressed me, and I got a chance to look because I didn't go to Florham Park, but I got a chance to look at the tape. You talk about setting the edge. They did a great job in stopping the run. I tweeted last night that Kayvon Thibodeaux is setting the edge with grown man strength. I mean, he put tackles on the ground, big old 300-pounders trying to block him, and he put them on the ground. So the areas that we all believe that this defense has to improve on in order to be their best self in terms of being able to rush the passer, it seems like they're cognizant of that, and they're very gap conscious, fundamentally sound in how they are approaching it. You can see across the board, they're applying their techniques. The Giants on offense, the offensive line is an area that we came into this season, this training camp, saying, what are they going to do at tackle? What are they going to do at guard? And all we've seen thus far in camp are positive things from guys that you didn't know if they could do certain things, right? Neal moved down the guard. Did a pretty good job before the scrimmages. And then he goes up against the Jets defense in some of the one-on-one drills. Did a good job. And some of the team drills, did a good job. So you're starting to see some things take shape. Now, again, he's also in a competition. So GVR is battling. He's a vet. I think in a real world in best case scenario, they would love for Evan Neal to distinguish himself as a clear advantage, having a clear advantage in terms of his athleticism and his size, because Greg Van Roten is smart. He's a pro's pro, and he knows how to play the position. If Evan Neal could be that, he would be more because of his size and his athleticism. And he gives you more quality.
I was watching Evan Neal in the one-on-ones yesterday, and then I was watching him in the team portions. And, man, when he drops anchor as a guard, people don't move him. They do not move him. And it'd be interesting because I wonder if he distinguishes himself to a certain point, and let's say he wins the starting job, then what does that do for the rest of the offensive line as far as now you can have Van Roten not only as a swing guard, but now he could be, you can have him as your backup center, so you might not have to keep a more traditional backup center. But here's the other thing about Evan Neal that I think you got to keep your eye on. Is he has shown to not be able to stay healthy. He's had these injuries that have troubled him. So, you're going to have to put your roster together thinking, all right, well, until he proves that he can stay healthy, we got to be careful. We got to have a backup plan. But
Van Roten is your backup plan. Or Evan Neal is the backup plan until he unseats Van Roten. So there were a lot of positives that I saw in, just a Jets observation. Their wide receiver is as good as advertised. Wilson. Oh, yeah. He's good. He's really good. And so because I've not been around him or them beyond this week, he's really good. And I was just looking at him, and I'm wondering out loud right now, is he happy with what he's getting from his quarterback? Because
that you're talking about that
quarterback has had some issues. Quarterback has had some issues getting the ball, driving the ball downfield. Now, he's a work in progress. No matter what people say, Justin Fields is a work in progress. He's got all the tools. But a guy like Wilson, I just look at his demeanor. He's all about business. And when he gets on the field, man, he's as good as advertised. It'd be a shame if you got in games and this guy is beating this guy left and right and they can't get him the football.
Yeah, I mean, in the 2-minute, Paulson and Debo had some good coverage on him in the 2-minute, but Justin Fields didn't even give Wilson a chance to catch a couple of those passes.
Well, see, that's my point.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Marcus Bowe continues to be outstanding. As your former head coach would say, and I mentioned this to Daves when I was taping the TV show, all right, let's not put him in Canton just yet. However, his ability to just between reps go from one side to the other, he's got fight. He's got a little nasty. When things got a little chippy. Marcus Bowe didn't back down. I think this is a player that Giants fans are going to be happy about. Carl, as I was watching the end of practice yesterday, like maybe the last hour or so, you know what I kind of saw too a little bit? I saw team fatigue with both teams. Like it's like they got really good work in the day before, and they had gotten a lot of good work in the 11-on-11, and they got some good work in the red zone. I thought Russell Wilson threw a great seam pass to Dulcich for a touchdown. But it looked like both teams had gotten tired of practicing against each other, and we're kind of like, all right, it's time to wrap this up now.
Yeah, it was hot. Number one, and what happens is there's so much standing around, right? You do your team periods. You got to get yourself up and ready to go because that's the physical part of practice. And then you have all of this downtime. And then it comes back up again. And then you have this downtime, the walkthroughs, the installs. Then you got to get yourself back up again for the third team period. And then it's more walkthroughs, installs. And as players, I would assume you just rather get it over with. Let's get these back to back, from one drill to the next drill to our scrimmage. But mentally you go down the up. And so these players are like, okay, enough. This can we get this last period over with so we can go home? This has been fun, but yeah, it's dragged on a lot longer than we wanted to in 100-degree heat under those shoulder pads.
Deonte Banks did not practice yesterday. He got a little dinged up in the practice against the Jets. It's nothing serious. But he had the day off yesterday. Malik Nabers, obviously. Go ahead.
I want to talk about this Deonte Banks thing because I was given the update when we did our rapid reaction, and I said he's making a case to be the number one corner. He had a good game. A lot of people had comments, most of which were fair, meaning he's sticky, but he's got to get his head turned around. He admits it. Everyone admits it. I admit it, right? I mean, it's obvious. But he can still have had a good game, folks. He gave up one crossing route. The incomplete pass on the sideline because he body positioned the guy out of bounds is perfect technique. He did get his head around on it, but the guy just was able to catch the football. But he did two things well. Got his guy out of bounds because he pushed him beyond the red line. So by the time he caught the ball, he was in position to get him out of bounds. But he did turn for the football. I have people saying that I'm gaslighting fans because I said he had a good game. He's improving. You should probably want your cornerback to improve. It's almost like some people are invested in him not being great or him not being good or him not improving. Yeah, he was drafted high. You should want him to get better. Another one, Darius Alexander, rookie. I think he's coming along. He's a work in progress, people. Nick Filato posted without comment all of Alexander's plays. He didn't put a comment on it. So people, and this is how, and I'm going to just say this to our fans and to Giants fans. It's not a knock on you to not know how to evaluate a player, but some of the comments watching him play were so off base, because he couldn't rush the passer. Okay, he's a rookie. Well, I would encourage all of you to go back and look at Nick's post. It's like 6 or 7 plays of Alexander. Here's what the coaches are looking at from a rookie. Is he getting knocked off the football in the run game? The answer is no. Does he play with strength against the run? The answer is yes. How is his hand placement? Decent. Can get better, but he showed you he can work with it. Okay, now pass rush. Got to work on it. But that's what rookies do. But he's not getting bullied by the offensive line. He's playing strong. Now, you go back and look at this, folks. He plays with strength. He plays with leverage. He doesn't get bullied in the run game. And he doesn't get moved around, tossed around a lot in the pass game. He didn't get a lot of immediate pass rush penetration, but he's working. And that's a work in progress. And being around this talented group of defensive linemen, he's going to learn those types of moves. So when you're making all of these not dumb, but ill-informed critiques of a player, look at it from where the team and the coaching staff looks at it. their expectations of him in the first preseason game wasn't the same as they are of Abdul Carter. And I guarantee you Abdul Carter exceeded any expectations they had thus far. But with Alexander, he's playing a 3 technique. It takes some work, but he plays strong. He plays with leverage. His hands are decent. He's going to work. He'll get work on that pass rush stuff. But see it from the coach's eyes, not from, he didn't get the sack. He's a waste. He's a bum. That's not how it works in camp, and that's not how it works with rookies. You see if the kid has a foundation and you build on it. He has that.
Yeah, I think and I thought he had a pretty good practice yesterday. People have a short-term memory. Dexter Lawrence was taken in the first round of the draft by the Giants. And if you remember, he was a full-time starter from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
But Dexter Lawrence wasn't Dexter Lawrence until 2022. There were a lot of fans that were saying, ooh, man, they swung and missed on that pick in the first round.
Yeah.
Because what did he go, 17th overall or something like that in the 2019 draft? 17th overall, because remember they took Daniel Jones. They had 2 first-round picks. And there were a lot of people saying, man, the Giants really swung and missed on these 2 first-round picks. But Dexter, as he got more experience and more knowledge and worked at his craft and developed his man strength as opposed to his collegiate strength, has become one of the best players in the National Football League, especially when it comes to defensive line play. So the Giants are fortunate that they have Roy Robertson Harris. They have Chauncey Golston. They have Nacho. Nacho has been much more active and has asserted himself much more because the role that they're now asking Nacho to play is more of a role that's conducive for him. Meaning you're not having him out there every single down. You're rotating.
He wears down if you do. Yeah.
Correct. And Nacho's not that big. Like, when he's walking through the cafeteria and you look at his height and everything else, he's not that big of a guy.
He's to the average person, he's huge, but to the football community that plays that position, he's maybe average inside.
Yeah, because when they have the team meeting and I'm sitting in the back of the cafeteria, and when the D linemen come in to get their little snack in between meetings, and I see all the guys walking in, I mean, Nacho is, I would not call him gigantic compared to some of the other guys, but to the credit of the team, Roy Robertson Harris, huge man,
big man.
They've brought in a whole bunch of physical guys, and Darius Alexander is going to be part of a package. He's going to be part of ingredients that goes into the main stew that surrounds Dexter Lawrence interior. So
that's
pump the brakes on the criticism yet.
Yeah, I mean, and look at what the coaches are looking at, right? He's going to be asked to play with strength. He's going to be asked to play with good balance and leverage. Take all the flash out of it. That's the work he has to get done now. And you look at that, and if he's getting blown all over the place in both run and pass, you're going to be like, well, that could have been a swing and a miss. But the guy has the right skill set, and he's displaying some of it. The rest of it will come. Being around Roy Robinson Harris and Golston and Dex, he'll learn all the little intricacies of playing that position at the pro level, but he plays it strong. He plays it with leverage. And those are the things that those coaches look for, because they can coach off of those, any mistakes he makes.
All right, Carl, I know that you've got an incredibly successful clothing business in G3 Apparel. And I'm sure that, in this ever-changing world, you're looking for people. You're constantly looking for people. Things always evolve. Things always change within the business world. And you want to get, good candidates. So where do you get good candidates? You want the people with the right skill set. You're looking for a certain criteria, right, of people.
Yep. Yep.
Well, there's a great way to help fortify your business. And ZipRecruiter, our good friends at ZipRecruiter, they can find amazing candidates for you, and they can do it fast. Right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio, AUDIO. ZipRecruiter has this little place that you can go to. Listen, smart technology identifies top talent. This is a tech world. You want things to get done fast, immediately, right, Carl? You're searching.
Yeah.
We need somebody. You want to rely on someone that's going to screen candidates for you.
Well, you need somebody who can find you candidates that won't waste your time. Like that, there are situations where people just come and go through your office, and you'd be like, okay, why is this person here? Because what we do in the world of sports fashion and fashion, it's timelines. You got to have people that are efficient at what they do. You give them a task. You don't have to babysit them and ask them if the task is done, right? So you need efficient workers for whatever the job may be. You want to know that, okay, he's on timeline, she's on timeline. This project's going to come together when we call our next meeting on Friday. That's the type of performance I need in my business.
Well, ZipRecruiter has that matching, powerful technology. Find the right people. It lets you connect with the top candidates ASAP. Now, you can use ZipRecruiter's pre-written invite to apply messages to personally reach out to your favorite candidates and encourage them to apply sooner. Ditch the other hiring sites and let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for, that needle in a haystack, so to speak. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a qualifying candidate within the first day. You can try it for free right now. We have an exclusive web address, and it is free for a trial. All you have to do is go to ZipRecruiter.com/audio, AUDIO. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. Yeah.
Do you think Joe Shane used ZipRecruiter when he got Golston as a free agent, when he got Roy Robinson Harris? Do you think ZipRecruiter helped him find Abdul Carter? There's got to be a thing in sports that helps. That's the equivalent of ZipRecruiter. When you get the good ones, your scouts did all the research for the general manager and recommended these guys. That's what ZipRecruiter does in the business world. Like they have people in technology, which they do in sports, to screen and find the right candidates for what you're looking for. Joe Shane was looking for an upgrade in a lot of areas. He tasked his folks to get the right technology, to do the right scouting, and present him with candidates that would make his team better.
Yeah, and I think all those cut-ups, all the film that they look at, they study the players that they potentially are going to want to bring in. That's kind of what ZipRecruiter does with their powerful matching technology. So again, we got a free trial for you. ZipRecruiter.com/audio, AUDIO. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Well, Carl, we're like a week away from teams basically needing their football version of ZipRecruiter, because not only do the Giants have to get down to the first 53, it's not the final 53, folks, it's the first 53, but all 31 other teams in the National Football League have to do it. So it's pretty tense. I think when I look at the Giants, though, Carl, here's one area that I'm a little concerned about. Malik Nabers. He's dealing with this toe injury, whatever. They're managing him. They need Malik Nabers, not for a joint practice with the Jets. They need Malik Nabers for week 1 in Washington and week 2 in Dallas, and so on and so forth. Darius Slayton, you know what you got with him. Wan'Dale Robinson has gotten a ton of reps. I think it's a little concerning that, they haven't had Jalen Hyatt on the field, because the back end of that receiving room, Jordan Humphrey is a nice player. Zach Pascal's a nice player or whatever. But I'm not really sure any of those guys are going to scare an opposing defensive coordinator. They have resumes in the league. I'm really anxious to see Hyatt out there. I don't know when he's going to be back out there, but he needs to get out there soon.
Well, he was in uniform yesterday, but we haven't seen a whole lot of him. And you're right, he needs to get out there for several reasons. He hasn't had a lot of reps, when he was healthy the last couple seasons. So this was supposed to be the camp, the season that we really see him come into his own, because this quarterback situation has improved. They're able to drive the ball down the field, as we've seen. That's his wheelhouse, but it's not if you're not on the field. Now, I don't know what the conversations are in the building about him, but he can play. He's got great hands, but that does you no good if you're not out there. So I'm hoping that whatever his situation is, that he can get out there and show what he's got.
Early in camp, I think you might have been there that day, but they put the ball like on the 1 yard line, and the Giants wanted to power their way out of their own end. And Skatteboo was kind of the battering ram, but showed his burst of speed. He has missed unbelievable amount of time here with this hamstring, and I wonder how up to speed. I guess because if it's a back, you can get a back up to speed, but you have to be careful with the hamstring because, as you well know, as being a professional athlete, you ding it and then you come back too soon and then you're toast.
Yeah, you can't predict at that position. You do so many random movements and reactions that you just can't say, okay, I'm not going to be able to do. I'm not going to cut to my left because it's going to hurt the hamstring. Running backs instinctively, they left, right, backwards, forward. They can afford to have him get healthy. What we've seen is Tyrone Tracy. We've seen Singletary. Like I said, he's just a quiet riot is what I call Singletary. He just goes about his work. But we also are now looking at Turbo, right? I haven't seen a screen pass look so good from anybody running it in a Giants uniform in literally 10 or 15 years. Every one of these backs in space have looked good. The offensive line have gotten out in space to block for these screens. This gives them a chance, somebody like Turbo, a chance to really say, hey, look, I'm going to be a great special teams player for you, but boy, I could be a specialist. You put me in the game, I can run between the tackles, but I'm also good in space. And that's something all of those backs are required to be. Next question is, will he block? Can he pick up a blitz? Because that's what he'll have to do too. But Cam Skatteboo, they have time with him. Is he missing valuable time as a rookie? Sure. And he hates it because he wants to be out there. But you would want that hamstring to be completely healed. With his running style, you don't want him strained hamstring. He's going to be down for a couple of weeks. It's feeling better. He's going to get him out there when he's completely healthy. There's no rush. You've got a stable of running backs that will hold the fort or hold the rope until he gets there. He wasn't slated to be a starter anyway. So let him get healthy. They're not going to put him on the shelf for the year unless he goes out there and he rips it. And you don't want that. So that's why they should have him get healthy. And when he's ready to go, he's ready to go. Maybe he's ready to go by Washington. Maybe he's ready to go by Dallas. But you just don't want that thing to be lingering.
And I want to just because I hear fans say to me all the time, well, so-and-so will be back on the practice squad, or they'll just put this guy on the practice squad. Folks, just to educate you, just like sometimes there's a little bit of confusion about the NFL schedule, and that you could go to Giants.com, you can go to ClevelandBrowns.com, you can go to LasVegasRaiders.com and look at future opponents. The schedules are set with the exception of 3 games through 2030. It's a rotation. The other thing is you can't just put a guy on practice squad. It's not like, okay, we're going to take you, and then you and you we really like, you're going to the practice squad. Again, because I'm a lot of fans have mentioned this to me, a lot of friends. Like, oh yeah, well, Miller will probably wind up on the, he'll be on the practice squad, or DeVito's they'll put him on the practice squad. It doesn't work that way. The way it works is when they have to get down to their 53, you literally have to release the players from the contract that they're under with you. And then there's a waiver claim, and it goes in the order of the draft. So Tennessee will be able to put the first claim in on any player, and so on and so forth. Well, as Miller, let's say Miller has another good preseason game and works his screen game and shows that speed and all this other stuff, he's not going to be there when it's time to put your practice squad together. There will be a claim
they release him. They release him. Some teams looking for a back like him. There's another dilemma at tight end. Everybody's saying, well, you can stash a few of these tight ends, not the way they're performing. They've auditioned for the entire NFL, and they got some skill sets that will not clear waivers.
Yeah, like I've heard a lot of Giants fans say, oh, well, Thibodeaux will probably just wind up on the practice squad as a 7th-round pick. Well, he played well in the game. Let's say he stacks another good game, and he stacks a third game because he's going to be a guy playing in all 3 preseason games.
Yeah.
Well, there's other teams that probably liked him in the draft process, and for whatever reason, they drafted by need when they got to the 7th round, and they really needed an extra guard or they needed an extra DB, but they really liked him. It's not like other teams didn't like him because he was drafted. You don't just get to put him on the practice squad. Like, teams will put claims in for guys. So I just wanted to clear that up because there's a misconception that you just get to put guys on the practice squad that you want. No, you sign them to your practice squad once they've cleared waivers.
Correct.
So that's just important to remember. Listen, you want to get a mug? Go to Believe. You can get your Tell a Friend to Tell a Friend Believe in Giants mug. Carl, you got anything else on your hopper right now, or are you good?
No, I think this is a really cool kind of touch base because people want to kind of get insights on this scrimmage. So it'll be fun to watch this game. But we should also let folks know that we will be rocking and rolling weekly during the season so that people will know where to find us consistently. We'll give you those dates soon, what days we'll be rocking during the week, but you can count on us to have Believe in Giants weekly.
Right.
And sometimes live.
And live. Oh, by the way, I want to thank all those who joined the live pod on Saturday night after the Buffalo game. So I'm at practice yesterday, and a gentleman comes up to me. He looked like he was probably in his mid-60s or so. Mm-hmm. And he comes up to me and he says, Papa, man, he goes, I love that live podcast. He's like, I didn't know how to subscribe or whatever. I randomly came upon it. He goes, and I love you and Carl. I love Believe in Giants. Tell a friend to tell a friend. He goes, but now I figured out how to subscribe. So I'm like, well, tell a friend to tell a friend how to subscribe as well.
Exactly.
So it was fun. All right, Carl. Listen, we want to thank our good friends at FanDuel. Believe in Giants is brought to you by FanDuel. We appreciate FanDuel jumping on board with us. How do we like to end this podcast?
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Believe in Giants.